Hey yo, what's up? It's me, JGB, checking in. I know some of you are aware that I'm like ready to go. I'm gonna start my business. I'm gonna start putting myself out there. I'm gonna launch my brand. I'm gonna tell my story. I'm gonna create content. That's what I want to do. What am I actually doing? None of that. But this is not new to me. I've been struggling with how to show up online for a long time. And I am somebody who's like really goal oriented and, it's super disciplined. And so in my head, I'm like, all I have to do is set the goal to create the content. And all I have to do is just show up. But the truth is, when I show up, there is a huge block here for me. And I'm doing a lot of work in the background. I do intend to create content. I do intend to tell my story, but it's not going to be something that's just going to be super easy for me. I'm not going to show up the same way others do. And I'm aware of that, and I'm giving myself grace. And I'm trying to figure out what works for me. Part of the story that I'm going to tell is that I received a late diagnosis for autism and ADHD. You can have both, and it's even more complicated when you have both. And as a part of learning that I am an autistic person, I'm going through this unmasking process now and learning, like, how do I even show up in the world? I don't even know. I've been masking my whole entire life. So I don't even know how I show up. And so this desire to put myself out there and tell my story, I don't know how to do it. I'm not somebody who is just capable of sitting down and punching out a post. Everything I do has such depth. Everything I do has to be authentic. And I keep trying all these methods that work for other people, right? Creating carousel posts and just, I don't know, I see people telling their stories and putting their brand out there, and I see it all, and I think I can do that. Of course I can do that. And I can, but it's just not coming naturally. It doesn't feel right. And I need it to feel right. I need a method that works for me. I need something that's going to allow me to show up as my true, authentic self so that I can transfer a message. I'm here to tell a story. I'm here to transfer a message. I am here to give something. I have something to give. I have known my whole entire life that I'm going to do this. I know that sounds crazy, but I really, truly have always known, I've always had visions that I'm going to do this. And now I'm here, it's time, and I'm ready to do this. And I recognize that this is the moment, this is it. And that has created a lot of pressure, and pressure makes things a lot harder for my brain. I really need to ease into things and be in a place of comfort and ease and alignment in order to channel and allow myself to share all it is that I have to share and to give all that I have to give. And so this process of getting to this place and deciding, okay, this is it. This is the time. It's time for me to show up and start doing this. It has been a process of, wait, how do I do this? Me specifically with this brain and this wiring. How do I do this? And I can tell you that everything I've tried so far has not felt right. And day after day, it just keeps passing, week after week, and then it becomes months. And this is the pattern that I've been stuck in for years, is the intention is there, the goals are there, the discipline is there, but I have not yet found the method that aligns with my authentic needs and my authentic vibration. Like, there is going to be a way that I show up and that I can just be in my power and be in my essence. And that's what I'm trying to figure out. And so I've got 100 million notebooks full of all the things that I want to say. And what I'm learning about my autistic brain is that I see such big picture things. it's so hard for me to boil the big picture down into specifics. How do I take this big, huge thing and like boil it down to just a few words? I don't know. I'm really struggling with expression in these ways. Where do I start? I think the truth is I need help. I've spent all my life on my own, doing things by myself, and I know that part of my journey is asking for help. And I do have intentions to ask for help in different ways, and I will speak about that in the future. But right here, right now, at this moment, today specifically, there's so much inside of me that needs to be said and that is ready to use my voice, but I can feel that it's stuck. And I recognize that I am working with some really serious blocks. I know that my throat chakra is blocked, that there's lots of work to be done there. I know that my sacral chakra, which is my energy center for creativity and for putting myself out there in these creative ways, I know that I have really serious blockage there. And I know that I'm doing this exact work, this project of stepping up and practicing using my voice and practicing what my creativity looks like, how I create, how I birth things. I know this is all part of the work, and it is honestly deeply frustrating not being able to take something that I can see so clearly in my mind and to put it to words. I struggle so much with this, and I recognize now that this is an autism thing. I can see it so clearly in my mind's eye. I know exactly what I'm here to do. I know exactly what I'm here to do. But my work is to just keep showing up and figuring out how I specifically am going to do this in a way that aligns for me. Because forcing myself to do things the way everybody else does it doesn't fucking work for me. It just doesn't. And so instead of bashing my head against that wall and feeling guilty for not being able to create, which is the pattern that I've been stuck in for years, I'm giving myself grace and trying different things. And so I'm sitting here right now in this moment because I've just had so much where I've been like, Jess, stop spinning these wheels, stop writing it all out. Maybe just sit the fuck down and express. And I wonder if I should just do this every day. 10 minutes every day, just data dump. Just use your voice, just show up on screen. That's another big one of the blocks that I'm working through is being perceived, being seen, being received, fear of failure, fear of criticism, fear of judgment. All of these things are part of my journey to work through. And this is perfect practice. As much as it's uncomfortable, this is where the action happens, right? Outside of the comfort zone. And I have to find that magic spot because too far out of the comfort zone leads me to overwhelm and shut down. And I literally just shut down because of overwhelm. And so I got to get out of that panic zone, but there is somewhere outside of the comfort zone for me that will allow me to authentically align and to do what I'm here to do. And so I'm going to try this. I'm just going to try and document once a day for 10 minutes because I have to do something or I'm going to go insane. Like, I can't just keep spinning my wheels. I feel like I'm in, what's the movie? Beautiful Mind. Oh my God, where it's just like so many notes, so many notes, so many notes. And it's just the same thing over and over. And it makes me feel like a crazy person. But I know for sure, without a doubt, that this is what I'm here to do. So I'm just going to start showing up. I'm just going to start speaking my truths because this is what I'm here to do. I've been trying to figure out what's my purpose for so long and I've found it. I'm here to help people. I'm a helper. I'm a healer. But I've also recently come to realize that there's more to it than just being a helper or a healer. I am here to speak truths. That is how I'm going to help. That is how I'm going to heal people, is by speaking truths. I have eyes that see. I know. And I got to use my voice and put my truth out there. the 10-minute mark.